All right, Shalawam Israel, YAHAWASHI, Bashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to elect out there doing this work of faith and labor of love with true sincerity. Right, I want to get into a brief exhortation about this concoction that I put together and, made a tonic out of it basically for myself. So I just wanted to share this with brothers, and Lord willing, I'll do this whenever I put these different things together, these formulas and things like this together. Now, this formula particularly is to address the blood, the lymphatic system, as well as the kidneys. All right. And we got to remember that the blood is a major thing, but it's a minor thing compared to the lymphatic system. So whenever you address the blood, you need to address the lymphatic system. Okay, because the blood is considered the kitchen. It is where all your nutrients come into, all right, for nourishment. But the lymphatic system is considered the garbage disposal. You have you have your garbage. So if you eat in your kitchen, then what you want to throw it out in your garbage. So your blood eats, and the lymphatic system filters the waste. All right. So the blood doesn't typically filter a lot of waste. It may filter a little bit, but it sends it through the lymphatic system, through the kidneys and stuff like that. But the lymphatic system mainly deals with all of the bacteria, the germs, the parasites, the worms, all of that different stuff, fungi, yeast. The lymphatic system deals with all of that. All right. So that's very important. Remember, whenever you're addressing the blood, you address the lymphatic system. Okay. But in order for all that to be cleansed, the kidneys have to be at a decent level, because the lymphatic system drains through the kidneys, all of the waste has to drain through there. So you have to make sure that your kidneys are also in tip-top shape. And a big majority of the blood filters throughout the kidneys as well, throughout the whole urinary system. All right. So, I just get into, each of these herbs and briefly break each one down, main benefits and why I put this concoction together. Now, keep in mind, herbs always have so many different benefits and side benefits and different things like that. So I'm not going to get into every specific detail of each individual herb, but I'll just hit the main points of why I put this concoction together. All right. So as you can see, and this pretty much in this, you see all these rocks and stuff like this. A lot of people think when you make teas and stuff like this, you could just put, sticks and twigs like this, in a pot of water and just boil it for 10 minutes and it's going to be good. No, if you have leaves and flowers, okay, leaves and flowers of herbs, those you can get all of the properties out of those with no time. It only takes a few minutes to actually get out the properties of leaves and flowers. But dealing with roots and barks and different things like this, you have to boil them and let them steep for a number of time, for a while, and that's what I do. But before we get in, I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we get into all that, all right. So yellow dock, well-known blood cleanser, cleanses the liver, the kidneys as well. And the great thing about yellow dock, it actually stimulates the pineal gland and it helps to decalcify the pineal gland. All right. So this is great, to bring any inflammation down that you have from the head as well. And we have checkpoints of lymph nodes, right underneath, our necks, that have to be filtered through as well. So the yellow dock will help to bring down a lot of that inflammation, from the head and from the pineal gland. All right. Burdock as well, another blood cleanser, kidneys, liver, and burdock. It also helps to you to sweat more. So if it's, starting to get hot out. So if you want to sweat more, if you're a brother that's out there looking to lose more weight, you can incorporate some more burdock because it'll help you sweat more and it'll help produce more urine. Now, also with this tonic here, a lot of these herbs are diuretic herbs, so you would have to drink a lot more fluids dealing with these as well, because they're diuretics. A lot of them are diuretics. And diuretics are great to help flush the kidneys of excess filth, excess water, and different stuff like that. So sarsaparilla. Now, sarsaparilla, this is really the king of all iron herbs. In any blood cleansing tonic, you always should incorporate some sarsaparilla. Now, you have different forms. You have Indian sarsaparilla, you have Mexican, you have Jamaican. The best one by far is a Jamaican sarsaparilla. A lot of the herbs from over there, the islands, they are some of the best definitely in the world. So, but in this particular case, Jamaican sarsaparilla is top notch. And the beautiful thing about a lot of these herbs, they're high in iron, in natural iron. So you don't have to worry about, overdosing on iron, how Esau would typically say. That's only dealing with all that synthetic chemical crap that you can actually overdose on iron. Okay, but we need iron to send that electricity throughout the blood. And iron is the only mineral that is actually magnetic, that pulls all other minerals unto it. So if you taking, like with people, when they take vitamin C and stuff like that, take iron pills, they would typically take a form of vitamin C or something like that with it to draw, all those minerals to the iron, so that they could be more utilized by the body, so the body can assimilate it better. All right. So sarsaparilla, top blood cleanser, also great for the urinary tract as well, and stuff like that. So prickly ash bark, another top blood cleanser, and as well as it helps with circulation. Now, circulation is very important, especially if you're dealing with any clogged arteries or different things like that. You have to have proper circulation. So this prickly ash bark helps with circulation and to push through all that inflammation that you may have in any of your clogged arteries and different things like that. All right. Dandelion. Now, we all know dandelion is another great blood cleansing herb and great for the liver and the kidneys, particularly the liver. So dealing with issues of the skin, a lot of people think you have to cleanse the blood. Like I said, that's part of the problem, but mainly when it comes to having better skin, you ultimately have to cleanse the liver, the gallbladder, and the lymphatic system. Okay, that's where a lot of the skin problems really stem from. You have some skin problems from parasites like that as well, but majority of the skin problems come from a toxic liver, gallbladder, and the lymphatic system. Once you clear those different things out, your skin will automatically start to lighten up. You will have a brighter glow about your skin ultimately. All right. So dandelion is great for the kidneys as well as another diuretic and stuff like that for the kidneys, to cleanse the kidneys. Okay. And collinsonia. Now, this is otherwise known as stone root. This is very, very powerful blood cleanser for circulation, as well as helps to break down kidney stones. That's why it's called stone root. Okay, so this is very, very good for the kidneys if you're dealing with stones and different things like that. It's a diuretic to help flush them out and to help break them apart. All right. Dogwood. Dogwood or Jamaican dogwood. It's another high blood cleanser, as well as it's great for parasites, bacteria, different things for infections, as well as like that. Concassa. This is another herb. It's very, very hard to find, the real one actually, but this is Concassa, sarsaparilla. These are two of the top high content iron herbs that's out there, and Concassa is great for different infections and different things like that as well as primarily cleansing the blood and providing the blood with a high content of iron. All right. Red root. Okay, red root cleanses the blood, but it mainly addresses the lymphatic system and the spleen. And the spleen is known as the body's largest lymphatic organ. Okay, the spleen, it deals with all of your you know, your immune cells, your killer cells, your NB and all of that. I'm saying all those different cells. So this helps to stimulate more production of white blood cells and different things like that if your immune system is lacking. Okay, so red root is very great for that. All right. And next is hydrangea, or otherwise known as hortensia. Okay, now this herb addresses the kidneys as well as the lymphatic system, right along with red root. Okay, because hortensia or hydrangea, it is known to break up masses of calcification within the body. So it helps to break up lymph fluid stagnation within your lymph nodes, as well as kidney stones. And the beautiful, beautiful thing about hydrangea or hortensia is that if you have kidney stones, you know, brothers that really suffer from it, you know, the kidney stones, they're nothing but we have like 3 different forms of them, but mainly, you know, the ones are uric acid and calcium deposits. Okay, so you know, you have the little prickly parts upon the kidney stones that actually make it painful in your lower back. Now, what hortensia does, it actually helps to break off, you know, it's a property in it called hydrangean that helps to break off those prickly parts of the kidney stones. Okay, and it helps to smoothen out the stones so that when they're leaving the body, okay, they're not painful. So if you take hydrangea on or hortensia on a regular basis, and if you have kidney stones and they're really getting on your nerves, like poking you constantly in your back and give you a lot of pain, if you use hydrangea on a regular basis, that will help to break off of those points. Now, shave grass, or otherwise known as horsetail. This is another great herb that goes hand in hand with the kidneys. So this goes right along with hortensia and the collinsonia, or the stone root. Now, shave grass, a side benefit that I want to get into about it, is very good for the hair, the skin, and the nails and the bones, because shave grass is high in silica. Okay, very, very high in silica, so it's great for the bones. And if you have problems with your bones and stuff like that, you can mix some shave grass, some Irish moss, you know, some sarsaparilla, okay, stuff like that. You can mix things like that together along with some white oak bark and some bladderwrack, you know, for the mineral density of your bones, okay, to strengthen them. Okay, so but like I said, shave grass. Now, how this goes hand in hand with hortensia or the hydrangea is because once the hortensia starts to, you know, break down those prickly parts, shave grass comes in with its therapeutic properties, and it helps to actually shrink the kidney stones for safe passage. Okay, so these two go hand in hand, like I said, with the collinsonia if you're suffering from kidney stones. Okay, so that's real good for that. All right, the next one is blue vervain. Now, they have different forms of this. Okay, and the one in America, it's not quite the same, but it still does have benefits. But you know, I get this, you know, kind of exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to get and stuff like that. I can't even get it like that all the time, you know. So this is kind of hard to get, but you can still get the American version of it. But blue vervain, this is one of the most powerful detoxifying herbs that's out there, and it helps to detoxify the whole entire body, as well as it attacks the central nervous system and cleansing it, you know. And it's very high in iron, and it's very high in zinc, you know, which is great for the prostate gland. So you could take this in concoction with other herbs to help for the prostate gland. So it's very good for that. So blue vervain, it helps to detoxify the whole body, gets into the central nervous system and cleanse and flush that all out. And like I said, with all of these different herbs being high iron content herbs, and to flush things, they will all the iron will definitely drain from, like I said, from the yellow dot being able to stimulate your pineal gland and help bring down inflammation. Blue vervain, it gets into the central nervous system, so it's going to help to further drain everything that's coming down from the head on down, you know, because that's where everything starts at. The inflammation is covers us from head to toe, and it begins in the head. So blue vervain is great for cleansing the whole central nervous system. If you're dealing with any anxiety and different things like that, anything dealing with the nervous system, blue vervain is the top herb for that. There's other herbs as well, but this is by far the best herb, okay, for that, as well as cleansing the blood and different things like that as well. All right, so Matico, this is kind of hard to find. You can't really find it in bulk like that. Maybe if you hunt hard enough, but I usually get them in little small packets. Now Matico is great for, it's very great for the stomach. That's one of the main properties that is good for, you know, if you're dealing with indigestion, diarrhea, different things like that. For anything dealing with the stomach, Matico is very great for. But it's also great at cleansing the urinary system, you know. And if you're dealing with any bacteria or any diseases of the urinary system, this will help with that. So the Matico, the Concasa, and the dogwood, those are great for infections and different things like that within the urinary system, you know. So like I said, you know, this is a small concoction of something that I put together. You know, like I said, brothers you can mix and match, do what you want to do with it. You know, of course, you know, you still do your own research on it, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just gave the primary information of each individual herb of why I'm using it, you know, as a tonic for myself, you know, to cleanse the blood, the lymphatic system, as well as the kidneys, okay? So like I said, because everything starts from, you know, the blood is the kitchen, the lymphatic system is the garbage dump, and the kidneys is where everything filters through at, you know, just like you would have, you know, those waste fields and stuff like that, you know. So everything would, and you have those pipes to filter out. So that's what the kidneys do with all of the waste from the lymphatic system, and the blood carries very minimal waste. Now, like I was getting into in the beginning, with barks, sticks, trees, and different things like that, you can't just put these in a pot, you know, and expect to get all of the properties out of them within 10 to 15 minutes. So what I do is you can take either a half, like I said, however many herbs of these you want to put into a concoction, you can do it. Take at least a half an ounce of each herb to an ounce of each herb. Okay, since if you use all of these, I would just say put a half an ounce, because it's so many, you know what I mean? But you can take a half an ounce to an ounce of each of these herbs, put it in the biggest pot that you have, and fill it up with water, you know, almost to the top. Turn the fire on high till it starts boiling. Then once it starts boiling, then you turn the water down to one of its lowest points, okay? And you just let it steep for hours and hours, okay? And that's how you're going to get, and eventually the water is going to slowly but surely go down, but you will have, you know, more than enough to last you for a while. Then you can either bottle it up and put it up in, you know, like bottles like this, you know, the amber glass bottles, okay? You can put them in amber glass bottles like this, put them in the refrigerator, or you could just put them in the big pitcher, and then you could just pour yourself some, you know what I'm saying, a couple times throughout the day, you know, whether it's a cup or half a cup or whatever you want to do, or take some out and reboil it, whatever you want to do with it, you know. But this is, like I said, this is a great tonic that you could put together for yourself to cleanse the blood, the kidneys, and the lymphatic system. So trying to think, is there anything else that I missed out on this? No, yeah, because like when I do it, you know, I usually let it boil overnight. Now some people may say, oh yeah, it's not safe or whatever. I put it on real low, you know, and I just let it rock out overnight, you know what I'm saying? So by the time I get up, You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I get up during the middle of the night, but by the time I get up, you know what I'm saying, it should boil down to a nice amount, and then I would just turn it off. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just wait for it to cool down and bottle it up and do whatever how you're going to do with it. So, you know, I just hope this short exhortation of these herbs was edifying. You know, the scriptures say health and body are above all gold, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So, you know, in the book of Sirach, the 30th chapter, you know, so we got to do our best, you know, within Babylon to take care of ourselves, you know, and to keep our bodies upright so we can continue to do the work of YAHAWASHI. So with that, you know, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim YAHAWASHI, Bashim Makakwadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to elect out there doing this work of faith and labor of love, truth, sincerity. Shalawam.